We're going to take a look at the difference between cardiac and smooth muscle tissue. The first that we're going to look at is the cardiac muscle tissue. There are some general characteristics that you'll see inside of each cardiac muscle cell. One is that they are striated, so they do in fact have sarcomeres arranged along their length, and that's what's going to give us this banded pattern or striations. They are uninucleate, which means that they only have one nucleus per cell. The cells are branched, and the significance of that is that one cell is able to communicate with multiple other cells. It's very important for cardiac muscle tissue to be able to communicate quickly so that all of the cells are beating in rhythm together. This type of tissue is involuntary, meaning that you do not consciously have to make the decision on whether or not you are contracting your heart. It will happen automatically. And later on, when we get into the cardiac or cardiovascular system, we'll look a little bit more at the actual system that causes the heart to contract. They are called pacemaker cells, and they in fact do that. They create their own pace. The other thing that we have along the length of a cardiac muscle cell is something called an intercalated disc. They're right at the ends between adjacent cells. These are gap junctions, and if you remember back to cell junctions, you would remember that the gap junctions are actual physical holes between adjacent cells so that they can share cytoplasm and information. Very good for communication purposes. Taking a look at this picture, you can see that there are in fact striations, so you can see the banding pattern along the left-hand side of the picture in A. The zigzag line that you see is the intercalated disc, and they've blown that up on the bottom so that you can see the gaps or the channels that are running between the adjacent cells. Additionally, these cells are branched in shape. The other type of muscle tissue that we have not yet looked at is smooth muscle tissue. General characteristics of smooth muscle tissue include that they are fusiform in shape. What it means to be fusiform in shape is that you are thicker in the center, say where the nucleus is at, and then the ends of the cells are going to taper off. The cells for smooth muscle tissue are also uninucleate. And as the name implies, smooth muscle cells lack striations. So under a microscope, they're going to look smooth, thus the name smooth muscle. These cells and/or tissue is also involuntary. That means you do not have to consciously control this type of tissue. You can find smooth muscle cells in a variety of places in your body. Along the GI tract is a very good example. Say your stomach, your intestines, moving your food around, mixing your food up with digestive enzymes. You don't have to make the decision to do that. That all happens involuntarily. And this picture just shows you that although smooth muscle does have sarcomeres for contraction purposes, they are not arranged as they are in cardiac or skeletal muscle tissue. You can see that it just kind of grabs onto the cell membrane on the outside, and as a result, you're going to see a smooth appearance versus striations. At the top, you can also see on A that is a fusiform shaped cell. It's a little bit thicker in the center and it tapers off at either end.